Pleasure to have you here as always, sir. How are you doing today?
Almost doing very well on the evening of 31st October.
Speaking of the 31st of October, how exciting is it to have the playoffs here in Delhi, sir? In the capital city, in this glorious city, how exciting is it to have the playoffs here?
Two things. I mean, Delhi is the heart of the country, and we have not been here for some time, and so I think it's a very strong affirmation that we want to be in Delhi again and again, to be doing the finals here. Also, it has been made possible by the superb performance of the Damang Delhi,
Yeah.
and it will really give them a chance to say that they're a very, very strong sports team for the national capital.
Absolutely, sir. And speaking of the Bang Delhi, we've had one of the teams that has given us many nerve-wracking moments this season. We've had so many competitive matches, so much so that the playoffs they decided literally last night in the final match. How do you think the new format has made this the most competitive season of Pro Kabaddi yet?
So, one, it is competitive for sure on three indicators. One is the closeness of the matches. Second is the brilliance of individual performances, and spread across all playing positions, but very strong for new young players. So and young players. I mean, we are seeing the luminaries of the league. All of them are very young people. There are some veterans. There are some teams with veterans, but the captains are very young folks. Matches which have been for the full 108 matches of the league round, the matches which were decided by a difference of 5 points or less, that's about 47% of the total number of matches. Matches which have been decided in the last 90 seconds, they're about 27% of the 108 matches. And of course, the great innovation was the tiebreaker, which I think really helped us to bring a binary value into play, that either you win or you lose, and that's what all the sport is about. So I think it has been quite rewarding in the sense that the format initiatives of PKL 12 are going to be here to stay, and we'll build upon them in coming seasons.
Check. Okay, I'm back. Yes. So I was also thinking, sir, in terms of how have teams and players evolved this season, and any sort of changes in style or approach of play that sort of stood out to you?
Most important is the return of the raider, in the sense that we had seen. I think we had seen it was a trend which became a sort of very fundamental principle of the match. Defense systems were very prominent, and it was very clear that teams were thinking more about the defense. This time we've seen the stellar performances by raiders. I think if you look at the top 4 raiders, they're averaging more than 10 rating points per match, which is like almost a super 10
Yeah.
in every match. When we started off the league just 12 seasons in 2014, we thought getting to the 10-point threshold for a raider was a very, very big achievement. That's why the nomenclature is Super 10. But we have got raiders who are generally capable of delivering magnificent 20s. And it's a development which Kabaddi is a game, it's a unique contact sport which balances defense and offense, which defense is the only contact sport. Uh, but the heart of the sport always, and to the extent we have such a magnificent young batch of raiders who are going to be around for some time. Its PKL 12 was, I think, very demonstrative of what the potential of the sport is. Of course, the raiders will have to continue thinking. They have to also evolve because defense will definitely catch up. The defense is bound to catch up with them in a couple of seasons at the most. And then we'll go through the cycle again. But for now, the season is, I think the return of the raider, the role of the raider is absolutely at the fore of PKL 12 matches.
Sir, I love how you said we just began the league 12 years ago. It's been an incredible journey, and here we are today in PKL 12 playoffs. Even personally for you, this must be a very special moment for you as well.
It has its moments of satisfaction, but it is like this: ki you do run out of breath in all sports. It's a running out of breath metaphor of sport, and catching your second breath is also a metaphor for sport. So I think you have to continue to be striving all the time for being faster, higher, and stronger. But it's also a fact that among modern contemporary Indian sports leagues, there are very few who have been able to reach their double-digit seasons, and it feels it's immense pride for all of us, the teams, the players, the officials, the federation, Mashal, that we have been able to do 12 seasons for Pro Kabaddi. Every successive season will also be a record of sorts.
I will now throw the floor open to questions from our friends in the media. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Mike will come to you. Introduce yourself and the person you represent as well, please.
Hi sir, Ankit from Kabaddi Adda. My question is, yes sir. My question is that the PKL is happening for 2 months or 3 months now, and fans are missing the action for 12 months. Is it possible that we can add number of teams and enhance the number of days how the PKL could be played? Because we had an event called Melbourne special event recently, where people take massive interest. So is this something like that in your mind? And just a short extension, our men's and women's team have won the gold medal recently. So your message on that, sir.
So, sir, if you allow me to answer, to respond to your points in reverse order. The Melbourne raid was very successful. I think we are definitely going to do one more edition of the same event this year. And diverse quarters of sports policy making, sports institutions in Australia are very, very interested in Kabaddi. We have had visits with Victoria Premier Jacinta Allen. We have had visits by the Queensland Premier, and that's very important because Queensland is going to host the 32 Olympics. They have been very, very eager to know more about Kabaddi and what can be done in a very solid institutional way. The issue of having PKL around for a longer time, one of the reasons, the format of longer leagues is the home and away. And home and away works best with home stadia. That's the fundamental building block of home and away formats. In India, indoor stadiums are still in short supply. Doing more matches also raises has implications for the overall financials of the league. And for everybody, uh, a compact season, well filled out, in adequate supply, but as compact as possible, make economic sense. For the same reason, if we increase, we don't have any consideration to increase the number of teams. But there is so much more sport which should be done. There should be Team India, matches, there should be bilaterals, trilaterals. There is also already, Kabaddi is so lucky to have a great rivalry between two countries, Iran and India. It's a very solid competitive rivalry. And if the sport grows, at least 2 or 3 more countries like that in the near future. But for the moment, I think we have to look for other expressions of Kabaddi, including Team India expressions, which will really give the fan a whole sense of the sport.
Hello sir, good afternoon. I'm Indranil from Sports Harry. So my question to you is, like 2 weeks back, it seemed like Patna Pirates was down and out of this league, but they suddenly made a huge comeback and are already into the playoffs. And there were also other teams who were in the hunt. So does this kind of gives a validation to the new format that was introduced right before this tournament?
So sir, the Patna Pirates is only in the play-ins yet. So they should, we wish them all the best. कैप्टन प्लेऑफ में जाने की कोशिश तो रहेगी, पर अभी वो प्ले इन्स में आए हैं. I think what it definitely does is add to the competition going forward. Normally, when you have, there was a question, I mean, the answer is related to that question also. When you have 108 matches, we used to have 137, but when you have 108 matches, the possibility that a team gets relegated reasonably early is also there. And once they get relegated, they'll keep on, the trend is that they keep on underperforming, but they have to last the league. उतने मैच उन्हें खेलने पड़ते हैं. So I think having a format which allows a comeback definitely, as you can see in the points table of this season also. So the top 4 are there, or in fact the top 2 teams are ahead clearly. Then the next 4 teams are all at 20 points each. And then there is increased competition between the bottom 4. So I think the overall competitiveness of the team, the league has gone up. And this is only the first season. Teams will respond very strongly to the opportunity of a play-in. That's going to be there. What it does is also keep the league round going till the wire. As Shyam just said, the final participants of the play-in plus playoffs were decided yesterday, which is a very good achievement and a very strong indicator of the competitiveness of the league. So I think it has worked.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Raj Krishna from Sports Anipai. So after the successful completion of 12 seasons, I mean, in the 12th season is yet to be completed, is there any plans for the Women's Pro Kabaddi League as well in the future?
See, it's a question which is asked increasingly more and more for us, because we are looking at we do think of the Olympics and Kabaddi as an Olympic sport. In the last interaction with friends from the media, I said that the lower hanging fruit is the Commonwealth Games. But Commonwealth also means that we'll have to take the sport to a continent like Africa, which has got several Commonwealth countries. We'll have to take it to the Caribbean, which has got several Commonwealth countries. In fact, all of Caribbean, I think, must be part of Commonwealth. So for this growth, I think women's kabaddi will have to be definitely sort of almost brought to the fore in a very strong affirmative manner, which in turn suggests that they gives you every reason to have a strong women's league. But as a reality check, we should also, I mean, the key factor there will be as and when you do a women's league, it should have the same explosive impact as men's PKL had in 2014. And as a sports manager and as a sports administrator, and I have a realization, I think it's shared by friends from the media also, in emerging economies, or rather in emerging sports in emerging economies, women's sport is slightly less affirmed. It was true even I think even for cricket they waited for a time when they had the adequate pool of talent. So if we are to have a horizon on a women's league, it is still 2 years out at least. But if you have a horizon at 2 years out, when you will be closer to these two big events, you will definitely be looking for women's kabaddi in a very big way. So I think a women's league is not only an idea, but I think it's a project which the time has come. But it'll take time.
Thank you as always for giving us your time. It was a pleasure having you here. I think we learned a lot of new stuff today. 770 million views, you said?
Yep.
That number of zeros is just staggering to me.
I don't look at the millions.
Anupam sir, it's a pleasure as always. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.